Hey, good morning, Eastern Oregon, and welcome to this August 9th version of AM Live on EOA, your connection to Eastern Oregon. I'm glad you're here. I'm not in the studio today. Doddsy's not with me. I'm not sure where he's at, so you'll have to ask him when you see him where he's at. he's calling right now. Anyhow, so glad you're here with me. And I'm not in the studio because our studio is still all messed up because of the Shrine game. And so we are planning on doing the games planning on doing this from our computers this morning, like we did during COVID, just because the production is a lot easier. But anyhow, we're here. I'm here. Glad you're here. We didn't do shows last week just because our life has been taken over and was so chaotic. But hey, we're back. This August 9th version. Let's take a look at the weather. This is probably going to be a pretty short show this morning because I'm not good at just doing this on my own at the last minute. If you have comments, I would love to have you chime in about whatever's going on in your world or out there. Give us something a little bit to talk about. Anyhow, the weather out there is hot. Let's take a look at what Gabe has the weather forecast for us today.
Heading into the day on Tuesday, that's where it gets really interesting. Storms are likely across much of our region, but I think the most activity will be around John Day and Burns. But some of that activity will make it up to the northern part of our region in the second half of the day, rising those temperatures into the 90s for much of us, although warmer, triple digits expected in Pendleton and Ontario. Heading into the day on Tuesday for La Grande, it does look like this. We'll start out into the mid-60s at 8 o'clock. More clouds than sun. Few sprinkles look to be around, beginning with a light southeasterly wind flow. But by midday, we open up more of those sun breaks. We open up more increasing winds, and it's possible we see a few storms around that point, but it's not really till later in the afternoon we reach our high temperature of 98 degrees around the 4 o'clock hour, and then those temperatures will rapidly drop after that, as I think that will be our best chance to see storms as a southwesterly wind flow takes over, gusting up to 40 miles per hour in spots. Those temperatures will make it down to about 80 degrees by about the 8 o'clock hour. Heading into my short-term forecast for the Grand Ronald Valley, tracking high about 98 for Tuesday, but I don't think we'll make it up to 100. Into Wednesday, those storms continue a little bit cooler into the mid-90s.
All right. So that's what's going on the weather. It looks like it's going to be one of those days where it is, gets warm during the day, and then later on, you know how that is when those storms roll in. Spent some time in the Midwest in Kansas City, and man, we think we have storms, but it's like it is very often it will. That same thing, high humidity, high heat, and then when it rolls in, it just comes in like a crazy thing. So anyhow, that just kind of is what it is. So I want to show you some pictures from the event this last week. We had, as those of you who may or may not know, we streamed the Shrine game. That happens. That is the state all-star game. The Shriners put together about 80 players from all over the state, and they come together and they practice for a week here at EOU, and then on Saturday at the end of that week they all go to Baker City and play that all-star game, and that game was incredibly close. It was tied up. They went into the very first overtime ever, and the West won with a field goal in, I believe it was the second overtime. It was a little bit confusing, but anyhow, first overtime game ever in the history of Shrine. And we were very pleased to have it on our network. So anyhow, so that was a big thing, and that takes about a crew. Well, here, he's calling. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, man, you're on the air.
I don't have my keys with me. I can't get in.
Okay, well,
I've been standing outside calling you for a few minutes.
I know. Well, you're on the air. I'm on the air. This is that time of the show. Okay, so I'll come get you. Hang on a second. Oh,
I'm at the back door.
Okay, so hang on. So, guys, let me play the weather one more time, and I'll be right back. Oh, here, I'll just play this short. I'll be right back, guys. Kyle's still getting his stuff figured out. Can you hear us yet?
Yeah, I just don't have a earpiece because it was up there and it's.
Okay.
Hang on, let me turn my light on.
Okay.
Is that speaker causing feedback?
No, it's all right.
No earpiece.
Okay.
All right, let's rock and roll.
All right. We're live. We're already going.
Why
don't you talk to him about the Shrine game a little bit? I told him that it was the first ever overtime. I couldn't quite understand exactly what happened in the overtime, but
well, the Shrine game was crazy. The final score 17-14. We kind of it was funny. William and I picked MVPs, just the two of us on the live stream, and then people were talking about it on the internet, like on the Pendleton Buckaroos site. That we picked Gabe Browning for the East, who is a Pendleton graduate, and then for the West we picked Kenny Tripp, and people were talking about it on the internet. So in the overtime it was 14-14, pretty low scoring game considering it's an all-star game. And in the overtime, they decided that they were going to play high school rules overtime. So they go into the overtime. The East throws an interception on, I think, the second play. And it was Gabe Browning who had the interception. And you see the coaches walk out onto the field. Well, that was them deciding whether or not they were going to rush the kicks, because all game on extra points, they did no rushing at all. Like the other team wasn't allowed to rush. So basically it was just a snap and a kick. Well, they decided that if they're going to kick a field goal in overtime, that the other team was going to be able to rush. So the West decides they get their first 3 downs of the overtime. They're not moving the ball very well. They're like, we're going to try to kick a field goal to win it. Well, then, so they met out on the field and they said, well, then we're going to rush. And they rushed, and they still they made the field goal, and it was the first overtime game. And
okay, so that was the end of the first overtime. I was confused. I couldn't. Well, and so were you. None of us really knew what was going on.
No, yeah. They didn't tell us until
So then there was the interception. The East had the ball first at the 10-yard line. There was an interception, and so the West took over. They did 3 downs and weren't moving the football, and then they kicked on the 4th down with rushing, and that's what won the game.
Yep, 17-14.
Wow.
Yeah, low scoring game too. I mean, considering I think last year the final score was like 34-9 or something like that.
Yeah.
34-6. What was the score last year? I can't remember. 34 to something.
Well, and East won last year, right? I mean, hasn't East won quite a bit? I can't remember.
Well, I don't know over time, but lately, yes. And I would have picked the East to win this year. I thought the East was deeper. But the West, I mean, their quarterback, McNabb from Scappoose, he pretty much controlled the pace of the game in the first half. And then their backup quarterback, who also played slot when he wasn't quarterbacking, was our player of the game for the West, Kenny Tripp. He was good, man. He was phenomenal.
Good. Well, hey, I have a couple of pictures. So this is from the setup standpoint. This isn't actually from the game. This is our trailer and stuff. We got there early morning. I think we were there by 9. This is a setting something up. This is the inside of the trailer during the game. Really appreciate the far left is Sean Halliday, and then Gib Pollard. Sean did graphics, and Gib Pollard from EOU did he directed the cameras and the replays and so on and so forth. And then this is my station over here on the right, and which I did audio and just kind of monitored the game. So this is the crew that we finally got everything wrapped up about. I think it was 11:30 when we left, and then this is, of course, this is the selfie. So William, who was the announcer with Kyle, William was play-by-play, and just let me just go through these guys. So in the front left is Taylor Scroggins. He ran the camera, and then myself, my wife Tanya, and then next to him is Lee Wright. He was one of our builders and facilitators. Right behind Lee is Gib Pollard, and then going left is Evan Humphrey, and then Kyle is back there in the back, and then funny looking hat. That's my brother Brian. He was also one of our facilitators, which is just like problem solvers, put stuff together. And then next to Brian is Benny, who did a lot of shooting and editing the week before, and he's our main production guy here in the office. We call him Office Jesus because he has that long.
You skipped Gabe. You skipped Gabe.
Did I skip Gabe? Okay. Oh, yes. And Gabe right behind Tanya and I. Thank you. Gabe is our weather guy, and he was running camera also. So anyhow, it was funny because William grabbed my camera and said, "Oh, well, if we're going to do a selfie, you got to let a millennial do it." And so that was a little funny.
What a dork.
No, it was good. It was funny. There was one of those replays that we did where Gib went to a replay. Gib was playing the replays, and it was Benny happened to have his camera pointed at the lawn. He was changing positions or walking or something, and William said, "Yeah, that there, folks, is a replay of the lawn here at the grass here." He was very slick. So
yeah, why would it take that long for him to realize that he was on grass?
Why would it take who? Benny?
Whoever switched the camera over to grass.
I don't know. Because part of what you're doing when you're doing replays is you're just switching and you're letting that replay play, and you're switching to the next camera, or you're doing something else, so
anyhow. So you're looking at the next
yeah, and so you may or may not understand that. So yeah, that was funny. Well, and a lot of times you can't see, there's so many things to look at all simultaneously. You weren't looking at the camera that was going to do the replay during the first time. So you're just kind of hoping that they had a good shot when you switched to the replay. So anyhow. Yep.
Yeah, it was a really good weekend.
Good morning, Dana. Glad you're here.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Buffalo Dana Peaks, for providing golf carts for last week too. So
yeah.
All right.
Let me talk about the Doug Trice Memorial. In 11 days, we're gonna have. It's August 20th. In 11 days, we're gonna be having a golf tournament out at Buffalo Peak, which is what helps fund the scholarships that we give away at the high school in honor of Doug Trice. So if you want to sign up, go to Buffalo Peak's website or contact me or Dana. It's a great fundraiser, and it goes, like I said, it goes to scholarships for local athletes. Hopefully, we're hoping again this year that we're gonna give away $4,000 in scholarships.
Good.
Yeah, should be good. I mean, that's the idea, is to every couple of years double it, and then eventually be able to just who knows? The sky's the limit with it. We got a lot of support, and there was a lot of people at Doug Trice's memorial a couple weekends ago. It wasn't this last weekend, but it was the weekend before this. It was out at Riverside Park, it was at Pioneer Park, and they dedicated the field, the Doug Trice Memorial Field, which is the varsity softball field, to Doug Trice, and they also they had a memorial in his name, because even though it's been over 2 years since he passed away, that people couldn't really get together because of COVID, and a lot of people donated there. There's a lot of local businesses. Pepsi's on board. Pepsi donated $1,000. So, I mean, it's just, I kind of feel like the sky's the limit with this thing, and we got it turned into a nonprofit. And if you're interested, get a hold of me or Dana.
Good deal.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to talk about.
Let me think for a second. I wonder, if anybody watching knows anything about the Moonlight? I saw a couple of we were gone. I was over in Baker the entire time of the Moonlight tournament, but I saw a couple things posted. It was successful. It went on. So yeah, I'd like to know about it. I don't even know where we can get information about it, but what else is going on sports wise coming up? EOU football and volleyball both reported. So I think volleyball starts in 2 weeks, I think. And then football, their first game is the 27th at home against Montana Tech. 27th EOU at home. And then LHS football reports the 15th. So next Monday, I think, is when LHS football starts their fall practice. So we got sports coming real quick. Real quick. Let's see. Want to go to On This Day? Let's get rid of it.
Yep.
Okay, so on this day, the let me pull my little thing in front of me. Thomas Edison received a patent for a two-way telegraph, 1892, on this day. On this day in 1936, Jesse Owens wins his 4th gold medal at the Berlin Olympics. He was the first American to win 4 medals in one Olympics. On this day in 1944, Forest Service and Wartime Advising Council created Smokey the Bear. 1944, on this day, Smokey the Bear. Yeah, that's crazy, huh? That's crazy. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? Let's talk about this real fast, BC. I forgot to say something, and then I'll go back to the list. What do you think about the feds going into Trump's house yesterday?
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
Oh,
I mean, I think that there were some of those Trump haters in Congress that were like, they were so excited. Is it raining outside right now? Look at that.
Is it? I can't see it from here.
I mean, I think it is. I think there's some dribbling. Yeah, look at that.
Wow.
Wow. No, what I was gonna say was that I just think that I mean, I think that so much of that is politically motivated, and it's like it's just vengeance. Now, that's not to say that Trump didn't do wrong stuff. I'm not defending him for whatever he did, but there's a lot of you just hear. I mean, in the past, you see people lie to Congress, and Congress lets it slide, and they don't, they do it, and then in this last recent thing, you have, I don't know, you just the rules are not applied fairly unless it's politically motivated, and then they go to the full extent of the law. So it's just that is. But anyhow, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I read somewhere that they think that it's either because of the files, that he had from the White House or
Right.
January 6th. But they also said there's like 16 different federal things that it could be.
Yeah. Well, they don't know, but again, the law is not applied fairly because I mean, there's a lot of presidents that have done shady stuff, and I'm not a Trump lover by any means, but I am, I just don't like it when the law is not applied fairly. If it's going to apply fairly to everybody and all presidents and all past presidents, then yeah, let's do that. But when it's not, that's the part that aggravates me. So
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
On this day in 2004, Donald Duck received the 2,257th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
His 2000? Say it again.
Yeah, on this day in 2004, Donald Duck received the 2,257th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
So he has
there's received the 2,257th star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I know. So I'm just saying. So Donald Duck has 2,200
No. Donald Duck received the 2,257.
I see. I see. I got it.
2,257.
Got it. He was got it. He finally got a star, and
he was
the
yes.
Yeah, got it.
There
Okay.
you go. Yeah. I mean, that's how it's worded. And
I know. No, it's worded fine. It's just that I was just a little. I still got brain fog going on, man. Yeah.
Me too. Speaking of Trump, on this day in 2004, Trump Hotel and Casino announced plans to file for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. That's on the most important news of August. Okay. So the number one song in the country in 2002 on this day was Nelly and Kelly Rowland, Dilemma. #1 song in the country. And then the quote for the day: always remember that you're absolutely unique, just like everyone else. Always, it's kind of funny. Always remember that you are absolutely unique, just like everyone else. You're just like everyone else. Yeah. It's just going to be me on Thursday.
All right.
Wake up on time. I think I should be back in out of brain fog by then and out of just dragging booty.
All right. Thank you, Eastern Oregon. Thanks
See you
for tuning
Thursday.
in. See you soon.